Welcome back. Now we're on a quest for Merriam's turkey. Since I filled my RGO tag, I can use some of that time I had allotted to go after the Merriams before I head out to Missouri. So yesterday I hunted a little closer to home and I saw some turkeys, but they were just off the boundary of where I could hunt. So they know where to be. So now I'm out in the area where I killed my first turkey and where Phil got his in the fall of a couple years ago. We're about 300 yards from where I got mine right now. And so let's see how it goes. That afternoon, all I found was a good view. When I left today, I grabbed a pair of high top boots, and problem is, they don't match. They're a left and a right though, so I got that going for me. The next morning, about a half hour after sunrise, I had a couple of mule deer visit. This particular one just could not get enough of my decoys. My decoys are just off to the right of the screen. Right here, I thought she busted me. But she just can't get enough. This was only at about 20 yards. Here, she bust me. Later that afternoon, I went out walking. Cold front was coming in with some snow and slush. I was hoping to really be able to glass the turkeys with my binos with all that snow on the ground. Well, now both my shoes are wet and my toes are now getting wet. Awesome. I'm really considering jumping spots. I haven't seen or heard anything that makes me say there's a whole lot of turkeys here or that they're very active. So what I ended up doing was going home. My feet were wet, my clothes were wet, I had no sign, and the forecast just had more snow for the next 24, 30 hours or so. It's another day here on a bonus hunt for Merriam's. As you can see, the sky is already starting to turn blue. It's only 5:05. Man, it's hard to get in the dark when it gets light this early. I went to jump in a ditch that was going to lead me to a dry creek bed, and I spooked up this bobcat. It seemed more perturbed than afraid, that's for sure. This dry stream bed had some turkey footprints in it, but absolutely nothing came through while I was there. Anybody guess what this is? My grandmother used one until the day she passed in 1999. Found a little oak shed. Later in the day I came across this. This is probably 400 yards off of my boundary, so they're outside of an area I can hunt. I had no idea these were toms until I was putting this footage together because through my binos I couldn't see the beards. My binos are 10 power and this camera goes up to 40, so I couldn't see them out that far. So we're taking a pause on the quest for Merriam's turkey, and I'm driving out to Missouri to Bart's place. We're going to pursue some of those easterns. Now in Missouri you can only hunt till 1 in the afternoon for turkeys, so that'll give us a chance to do some fishing. Well, I'm back here in Colorado chasing turkeys. I got back from Bart's house Tuesday night, and today at Thursday at about noon, I came out to a spot that looked pretty good on Google Earth. And when I started walking out, I ran into these birds. All right, so I got some ducks right there, but what kind of interests me more are what are those birds right there. And I'm an idiot because those are definitely not turkey. Pretty obvious once I got up closer. Even though it looks pretty good on Google Earth, once I got here on the ground, the terrain doesn't feel like turkey. I haven't found any sign, anything. I found a lot of goose footprints, a lot of goose poop. Did some calling, nothing. Not a thing out here. I won't completely write the area off, but if I come out again and don't see or hear anything, I'll write it off. Going up a road I haven't been up in many years, but supposedly there's turkeys up here. And I just saw a hen that was on private land right before I hit national forest, so that's promising. So I've been going all day long. I'll drive a little bit, pull over, call, nothing. I walk down a ridge about a mile out, turn around, come back up. This was a mule deer. And this was an elk. Nothing. So I don't know what's going on, but I thought there were turkeys out here. I think I've seen one turkey poop, but that would be the extent of the sign. So I'm going to make some coffee and regroup. So I just had a big boo-boo. I walked down a draw, and I was supposed to take about a 160-degree turn at the bottom and come up a spur, two draws over from where I came down, but I didn't turn sharp enough. I ended up following another draw, so I ended up being a half mile off of where I should be. And if I didn't have cell service up here at the top of the ridge, I wouldn't have quite known where I was. The remedy would have had to have been, I would have had to have retraced my steps, and that would have been more like a mile and a half instead of just a half a mile. So be careful out there, folks. While relocating, I went through a small town, came across these deer. I was hoping to see some down along the creek somewhere, and then I could use the willows to make a move, but nothing. Can we just call them turkeys? So I haven't seen hide nor hair of a turkey, and I don't know what to do. So here, there's a coyote chasing a cow out there. Coyote better watch out. There's more than just one cow over there. But here in a little bit, I'm gonna hit this crow call some and see if I can't get a gobble back in the woods. And I'll get up early in the morning, walk back in there a ways, and start trying to see if I can get one to gobble off of the crow call, give him a shot gobble. I'm staying close to home right now because I've got jury duty Wednesday. It's Monday, so tomorrow night I need to have cell phone reception so I can call in and see if I got to go in. I actually do want to do it. It's just during turkey season. Come on, man. I got stuff to do. But other than that, I actually do want to do the jury duty. So that's the plan for now. Crow call tonight, crow call in the morning. See if I can't, there's a calf now running like crazy. I don't think that coyote's getting anywhere. Those are big cows for a coyote. But crow call tonight and tomorrow and see what I can do. Starting to run out of places I know of that I've seen turkey to even go to. Early in the morning, here's a very pregnant mule deer. Pikes Peak at sunrise. and this is called sheep nose.
This area is an area that I've small game hunted before, and I thought I've walked all over these hills, but I've definitely not seen these rock formations before. That hole is about 5 or 6 feet wide, 5 or 6 feet tall. Alright, this was kind of weird. I'm over here by my truck. There's a creek down over there that has a handful of ducks in it, and one just flew over my head and landed right in there. All that stuff you see there is pine needles mashed in. I thought that very interesting.
Alright, so I came home last night. I don't have jury duty, but I'm on standby, so I got a call today, which is Wednesday, between 11:30 and 12:30. But I was coming home anyway because I just had no reason to stay out. I can't find a bird. I got no sign, so come home, reset, and try to figure out another place to go look. Well, now it is Saturday, May 19th. I'm heading out to a completely new spot, never been there before. I shaved my beard because I just need some kind of a change of luck, maybe a little superstition, something. But it's supposed to rain some, at least potential for some rain. I think I'm a little better prepared than I was when it snowed on me some, so I got both pair of the right type high tops this time, so I'm good to go there. See how she goes. Here's another very pregnant mule deer doe. I've been driving and driving, and it seems to be private land on both sides of the road. Finally, I'm in some public ground. During yet another relocation, I drive right past Bishop's Castle. This is a man with a little help from his family, on his own land, on his own time. Look at the scale of the people to the building. It's very impressive. If you ever go see Bishop's Castle, you won't be disappointed.
And there's one on some private ground.
Weather's coming down pretty good now. This is dinner tonight. I'm gonna do a deer steak. It's a pretty good sized steak. And tonight I'm gonna hit the crow call in that direction. There's kind of a creek, a dry creek bed that runs up that way. And there's a creek bed that runs at the bottom of this hill and runs north to south like that. So I'm gonna hit a crow call, see what I can get there, and then try to do it in the morning, see what I get in the morning. Otherwise, I don't know even where to start in the morning. So that next morning, I got absolutely no response from the crow call, but I did see this muley buck. Later that same morning, here's some elk. And while I was pulled over for breakfast, there's some pronghorn in the distance. That's all 3 major species in Colorado before 9 in the morning. It is Friday, May 25th, a few minutes before 4 o'clock in the morning, and we are heading back out trying to find some Merriam.
I can hear one gobbling. He's out a good ways that way. He might be on the boundary or just past the boundary of the area I can hunt in. I'm trying to wait to see if there's anything in these trees right here where they'll sometimes roost. See if anything wakes up in there. I'll sneak over and give you a shot of those. So those taller trees in the back, those are cottonwoods along a little creek. That one that was gobbling this morning sounded like he was on the ground and maybe heading this way. He was kind of answering my calls. I was doing on the box call. But it sounds like he's been intercepted.
So while out walking around, I come across this field and it's got a nice roll in the middle. So I set up on the one side and do a little calling. I'm hoping maybe there's a turkey on the other side of that little hill. But all I found was this muley shed and this elk shed. Finally, I'm out back at my truck, or at least over my truck. So I go ahead and go down to my truck and have lunch and figure out what I'm going to do for the rest of the day. There's about 5 hours left of legal light, so I decide I'm going to go kind of where I was this morning. I'm going to sit down in the cottonwoods and just sit there, because the birds might roost in that spot, and they might also pass through that spot on their way to a different roost. So I'm just going to sit there and see what happens. As soon as I arrive at the cottonwoods, I look way out in the field and I see this.
That bush right there is the one I was set up in this morning for about an hour. That turkey's right around there. I think it went around the front side.
When I realize the bird's on the other side of that bush, I decide it's now or never. I just take off and start walking really quick right toward that bush. I got about a 12 to 15 mile an hour headwind, so my noise isn't an issue, and that bush is really thick, so my vision shouldn't be an issue as far as them seeing me. So I just go up there. I peek around to the left and I saw him. I peeked around to the right and I didn't see him. So I came back around to the left, and I was going to get back into the bush here. As I come around the front, I was going to get into the bush. Then I was going to call and see if I could pull him back out of the creek bed. And I realized there's 2 turkeys right there. They got red heads and beards.
Oh my goodness. I don't know how they got around on this side without me seeing them from the other side. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That was two, like this guy, his spurs are short, but he's got a little bit of a beard. Probably a 6-inch beard. So that was 2 mature jakes or 2 young toms. I could see when I got up there, I was going to get back into the spot I was in this morning. Check this out. That bush, I was in that this morning. I cleared out a pretty nice spot in there. And so what I was going to do is come around the back side, get into that spot, and then just give a couple calls, see if I could get those turkeys to come back, because I really didn't know if they were jakes or hens, jakes or toms or what. I thought the first one I saw was a jake or a tom, based off the size of the head and the kind of the hanging down
stuff, and I come around and they're 25 yards, 30 yards from me right here. Two of them. And man, I ended up dropping this camera, but this one was on, so I just rolled with it. I didn't mess with anything else. Man, it's been a season. It has been a season. This is the second time I've been around on this spot today. Like I said, I was in there this morning. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Man. I got up at 3:10 this morning so I could try to come out in the dark and try to find where they're going to be roosted at. Heard them gobbling. Oh my goodness. It has been a season. I telling you what, a season. There's my shell. That's the one. We're gonna keep that one, boy. This is the Merriams with the longest beard I've ever gotten. We'll set up the camera here in a sec, and I'll show you this guy. I got him right here under my foot right now. I just wanted to make sure he's expired. These are birds, boy, I tell you what, these are birds. All right, folks, it has been a season. Here we are. Nice Merriam's turkey right here. Got ourselves a beard here. Oh, about 7.5 fingers wide. Whatever that translates to, I don't know. It's got little nubs for spurs. So that's the biggest bearded Merriams that I've taken. Man, I can't tell you how happy I am to get this guy. Well, I've been burning some midnight oil, burning some miles, burning some gas, burning some energy. I'm just thankful right now. Thankful I got me a bird. I don't have to get up at 3:10 in the morning now. So we're going to go ahead and endorse this tag. May 25th, and it is a male. And yes, I always try to carry a pin so I can sign them properly. Otherwise, what you do is you kind of sign it with the tip of a knife, or the tip of, like if you're big game hunting with your soft point lead exposed, sign it until you can at least get back to the car and sign it with a proper pin. And zip tie. Folks, that is both of my Colorado tags filled. The first one was a limited draw. If you watched that video, it's a limited draw, so you can only get that about every 3 years for certain areas of the state. And so this year was the year I had 2 spring bearded turkey tags. And I was really starting to fear I wasn't going to fill the over-the-counter tag. But I know I didn't have much time left, so these last 3 days of the season I was just going to go and go and go and burn myself out. Speaking of burning yourself out, this morning I took a 2-hour nap in the shade from about 10:30 to 12:30. So don't be afraid to do that if it's going to keep you focused later in the day. Because when I start getting tired, my legs start getting tired and start getting heavy, and I don't start thinking real well, I drag my feet, I make a lot of noise, and it just doesn't work out well. So I find that just take the time out, take a time out, get a little rest. I even had my sleeping gear in the truck in case I wanted to get in the back of the truck. I had my sleeping mats, had air mattress, had sleeping bag to get on top of. It's pretty hot today. It's like 87 degrees. So I wasn't getting in the bag, I was going to get on the bag. So I had the gear to take a nap at the truck too, but I had such a sweet spot sitting on some pine needles up on this hill over here that I just took my nap right there. Hey. And that was how my season ended. If you're still here after this length of the video, I thank you for staying. I apologize for the length of the video, but the season was long, so the video's long. We could really use some more help getting to the 1,000 subscriber mark. So go ahead and please punch that button right there, and here's some more turkey videos right here. Thanks for watching.